Hello and welcome back to the Worst Possible Commander Show. I'm back. I was gone on business, as CGB calls me, Mr. Business, but I'm back. I missed all of you guys very much, and I mostly missed defeating CGB in Magic, so that's what we're going to do here tonight. I'm joined by my friends, Ben.
Hello.
Shay.
Hello.
And CGB.
Hi.
I was trying to not let him talk, just a little bit longer of peacefulness. So one of the things that we like to do here on the show is we go around in a circle and we talk about what we're playing and the worst possible thing that our deck can do. So I will start. I am playing Nahiri Forged in Fury. So this is 6 mana for a 5/4, affinity for equipment. When an equipped creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. You may cast equipment spells without paying their mana costs. So, I'm playing something very out of my comfort zone, which is Boros equipment. Shay's gonna have to teach me how to actually equip creatures with equipment. I'm not really sure how to do that, but she'll teach me, it'll be fine. That said, for my worst possible, I'm also gonna take a note out of Shay's book and show you guys just how many equipments I've got.
Whoa.
Look at all those equipments.
Equipment?
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I know. They're gonna be equipped and you guys are gonna die, hopefully. Ben, who are you playing and what is the worst possible thing you're gonna do to us?
I'm doing something crazy today, guys. Mono-colored deck, but it's colorless.
Is that even mono?
That's not mono.
I guess not.
It's nothing.
Is
It's a
1-0?
nothing
It's
deck.
devoid of color.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
I'm playing Karn Legacy Reforged. It's a star golem. His power and toughness are equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control, not all. At the beginning of your upkeep, add colorless. For each artifact you control, this mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells until end of turn. You don't lose mana as steps and phases end. So I have a little combo here with Forsaken Monument and Basalt Monolith. So if they're both on the battlefield, Forsaken Monument gives Basalt Monolith taps for 4, but you can pay 3 to untap it. So I can just go like this a bunch to have infinite mana.
We're gonna make him tap for every mana he wants.
Yeah, I have to do it unless, if I don't, it doesn't count, you know? And then I just, spit my hand out.
That sounds awesome.
And pass the turn.
And then pass the turn.
And dies to board
And
wipe.
pray no board wipers.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We'll find out.
Shay, what's the worst possible thing you're gonna do to us?
So today I'm playing Nixilis, Captive Kingpin, who is, of course, a demon. He's a 4/3. He's got flying and trample. Whenever one or more opponents each lose exactly 1 life, put a 1/1 counter on Nixilis, Captive Kingpin. Exile the top card of your library until your next end step. You may play that card.
I gotta side art some fetches, actually.
Got a lot of fetch lands in your Boros deck.
Yes.
One.
Yeah, so basically the idea is going to be both capitalizing on any single instances of 1 damage that you take, but also trying to deal out those 1 instances of damage. So for my worst possible, I have All Will Be One. You may have heard of it.
It's a set, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right. And so I don't know if I really need to read the card. I think most people probably know.
I've made a few videos on it if you're looking for more content on the YouTube. But yeah, that and your commander is, well, we die?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, infinite until everybody is dead. Also works very well with a little card called the Red Terror, which is a 4/3 Tyrannid, which says whenever a red source you control deals damage to 1 or more permanents and or players, put a 1/1 counter on the Red Terror.
We like Tyrannids.
Kind of the same deal here with the All Will Be One.
All right, well, I'm very excited to very, very slowly get pinged to death.
I want Ben to take notes. This is how you combo. Do you actually kill everybody when you do it?
I prefer the
Really?
pass. I prefer the old pass and pray.
Is that how it works?
Love a good pass and pray.
Never heard of it.
CGB, what are you going to be playing when I beat you today?
Oddly similar to Mr. Business over here, I'm playing Calix Guided by Fate, which is a new commander from March of the Machine Aftermath that is trying to be a new Enchantress-style commander. But I'm doing it in a more aggressive way. It's an Enchantress Voltron type thing, so I'm going to play a lot of enchantments. I'm going to play cards that do draw me cards when I play enchantments, but then I'm going to use a lot of cards like All That Glitters, Ethereal Armor, Michiko's Reign of Truth. These have a similar effect of of making my creature enormous based on the amount of enchantments that I have, and then I'm going to hit you guys with these enormous creatures. Calix also has the ability to copy an enchantment every time I hit somebody with Calix or an enchanted creature, so I'm going to make copies on copies on copies of these things and attack you for way too much.
That's terrifying, and also, I'm playing Equipment, you're playing Enchantress. What's going on? Weird day. How long was I gone for?
I don't know what happened. Those were taken, and I just sat here being like, I better do something aggressive because I'm just gonna die.
Fair enough. Well, keep in mind, CoolStuffInc.com is our sponsor. Please use promo code WORSE at checkout to show, that we're the ones who sent you. Show some love for the support. Show some love for the show.
There you go.
Thanks so much for watching. Let the nonsense begin. All right, I saved up all my dice rolling skills while I was traveling, and I get to go first. So I'm gonna draw for turn. I will play a Plains and a Colossus Hammer, a fan favorite.
It begins.
It begins, and then it's gonna be Ben's turn.
I'll draw. Play a Foil Waste and pass.
Okay. Draw for turn. I'll play a Scalding Tarn. Gonna pay a life and sacrifice it. All right, so I grabbed my Badlands, and then I'm gonna tap it to play a Wayfarer's Bauble. Then I will pass the turn.
All right, draw for turn. Command tower, pass.
All right, I will untap, draw for turn. I'm going to play a Mountain and a Talisman of Conviction, and I'm gonna pass the turn to Ben.
Okay. I'll draw for turn. Play an Urza's Saga. Chapter 1 taps for a colorless. Tap 2. I'll play a Zenith Chronicler. Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
Your turn, Shay.
All right, untap, draw. I'll play a Swamp. I'm gonna pay 2 and tap and sacrifice my Wayfarer's Bauble to search my library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. All right, I grabbed a Mountain with my Wayfarer's Bauble. It's gonna enter tapped, and then I'll pass the CGB.
Draw for turn. Plains, and we'll cast Kami of Transience, a 2/2 trample. When I cast an enchantment spell, it gets a +1/+1 counter. And at the beginning of each end step, if an enchantment was put in my graveyard from the battlefield, I can return Kami of Transience from the graveyard to my hand. So it comes back. Your turn.
All right, I will untap, draw.
I don't like that.
Okay.
He drew Sigarda's
That's-
aid
That changes things.
to equip the hammer.
changes
He did it.
things.
He did it.
We're gonna go Plains. I'm gonna cast a Pure Steel Paladin.
Oh, that does it too?
Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. And equipment you control have equip 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. I'm gonna tap 2. I'm gonna cast a Thran Power Suit, which is gonna draw me a card off Pure Steel Paladin.
Seems good.
And then I will go ahead and equip Thran Power Suit and Colossus Hammer to my Pure Steel Paladin.
What does Thran Power Suit do?
Yep, so Thran Power Suit, equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to it and has Ward 2. So it's gonna get 2, 12, it's a 14/14 right now.
What?
Hello?
It doesn't have flying though, because of the hammer. Well, on that note, I'm gonna pass very casually.
Uh-huh, yeah. I'll untap. Draw for turn. Oh, and Urza's Saga goes to 2. Play a Demolition Field. Single target Field of Ruin, essentially. I'm gonna tap 3 and play a Metal Worker.
Nice.
Try not to drool.
I love that card, dude.
It's a good one, yeah. And I will pass.
Okay. Untap, draw, play Mountain. We're doing it. I'm paying 4 to cast Nixilis.
Okay, well, that was a multicolored spell, Shay, so the boys get to draw a card.
Nice.
I feel
Thanks, Shay.
excluded. But I have Nixilis, so.
That's pretty
Cool.
really
Maybe
good.
I feel excluded because I don't have an Nixilis.
Well, then I'm gonna play a Mox Amber. I'm gonna pass the turn to you, CGB.
Okay, feeling behind. I will untap. I will draw. Me and my grizzly bear will think of all the cool things we're going to do. I did not expect this game to go this fast. And I already feel like I got to figure out the right play, and it's going to be very hard. All right, I'll play Overgrown Farmland. I'll tap 3, and I'll cast my commander, Calix, Guided by Fate. That is a multicolored spell, so you 3 get to draw.
Yay.
Woo!
Thanks, CGB.
So whenever I cast an enchantment spell, I get a +1/+1 counter on Kami of Transience. And when Calix enters the battlefield, I put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. I'm going to put that +1/+1 counter on Calix himself. And after that, with all respect for the 14/14, I'm going to pass the turn.
All right. I'm going to untap, draw for turn. I will play a Plains. I am going to cast a Mask of Memory, which will trigger Pure Steel Paladin to draw me a card.
Drawing cards is a lovely experience for you, isn't
It
it?
is so great. I'm going to spend 2 mana for an Arcane Signet. And then I'm going to spend 2 more mana for a Hero's Blade, which is going to trigger Pure Steel Paladin to draw me another card.
Nice.
I will then move to equip Mask of Memory. And I'll move to equip Hero's Blade. Yep, and I paid 0 for each of those equips thanks to Pure Steel Paladin's ability, and I will move to combat. Then I will attack you for 19 with my Pure Steel Paladin.
Ben, I'm begging you to block.
I'm gonna block with my lowly 3/1 Zenith Chronicler.
I figured you might.
No trample, right?
No trample.
Okay, good. He's a
That'd be so
dead
sick.
boy.
Sorry, buddy. And then I'm going to pass.
Okay. I'll untap for turn, draw. From Urza Saga triggering to the 3rd chapter, I will tap this for 1 colorless, and then it will be. Then I'll search my library for a 1 or 0 mana value artifact card. Okay, I got Soul Ring, and I'll put it directly onto the battlefield. And I will play a Karn's Bastion for turn. Okay, I will tap my Metal Worker. I will reveal 5 artifact cards. Wayfarer's Bottle, Ornithopter of Paradise, Unwinding Clock, Joyrose Familiar, and Triplicate Titan. So I will gain 10 colorless mana to my mana pool in addition to the 1 from Urza Saga.
Yup.
I will cast Triplicate Titan with 9 of that.
Makes sense. So you have 2 floating, 1 from Urza Saga and 1 from Metalworker.
I will also play the Ornithopter of Paradise, because why not?
Okay, no more floating mana.
Tap 4 for the Joyrose Familiar, and then I will just play the Wayfarer's Bauble for free because of Joyrose Familiar.
Seems good.
Seems pretty good. Your turn, Shay. Don't worry about it.
Ben, you and I are scary kids, dude.
Very scary. Well, on your end step, Ben, I'm going to tap my Mox Amber for a red, and I'm going to use that to cast a Gut Shot.
Whose gut are you shotting?
I am going to target Blake for 1
right in the
damage.
gut?
Just straight
Yes.
to the gut.
Dude.
Go with his gut, Shay.
Yes. Woo!
I felt that one.
So that is going to trigger Nixilis. He's going to get a 1/1 counter. Thank you. So he'll get a 1/1 counter, and then I get to exile the top card of my library, and I can play that until my next end step. It's a swamp. Okay, go to my turn. Untap. Draw for turn. So I will start by playing the swamp that I exiled. I'll pay 2 then for Kessig, Flame Breather. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Kessig Flame Breather deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Do you see the problem?
It's definitely not me.
There's a lot of problems.
There's a lot of problems.
There's a lot of problems.
Problems abound.
And I think I'm not it.
You're the only one who's not a problem.
I am disappointed in myself.
Yeah, it's a problem for me because I can't attack it.
All right, then I will pay 3 for a Relic of Legends. Taps to add 1 mana of any color, and then I can tap an untapped legendary creature I control to add 1 mana of any color. So the Relic of Legends will trigger the Kessig Flame Breather, which will deal 1 damage to each opponent.
Okay, I take 1 going to 39.
Okay, so although you each took an instance of 1 damage, this is only going to count as 1 counter on Ob Nixilis. So we'll go up to 2, but I'll still get to exile a card.
Yep.
What'll it be? Trailblazer's Boots.
Oh, goody.
Non-basic Landwalk.
Seems good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pay 2 to cast the Trailblazer's Boots. That is casting a non-creature spell, so I've got another Kessig trigger. Everybody take 1.
Take 1.
Ob Nixilis will get another counter, and I will exile another card. It's a land.
Come at me, Shay.
Blake, I'm going to attack you with Ob Nixilis in the air with trample for 7/6.
Yeah, I got no blocks. Ouch.
Ouch.
And that's commander damage,
Yep,
dude?
7 commander damage for you.
It sure is. Okay, I'll move to my end step. This is Frizzle exiled. Cannot play it. Then I'll pass to you, CGB.
I will untap. I will draw for turn. I'll play Heliod's Hall of Generosity for my land for turn. It lets me put an enchantment from my graveyard on top of my library. I will pay 1 for Esper Sentinel.
Oh, our favorite little dude. Right, Blake?
Maybe I'm going back to work.
I will pay 2 for Arcane Signet, and I will pay 2 for Michiko's Reign of Truth. This is a saga, and the first 2 chapters are the same. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each artifact and or enchantment you control. So, a few things when I cast this. First of all, the Kami gets an extra counter just for being the Kami. Second of all, Calix is going to trigger and put a +1/+1 counter when this enters the battlefield on target creature. I'm going to target the Esper Sentinel. Because I would love for you guys to not really be able to pay the tax at all and let me draw cards. When the Reign of Truth enters the battlefield, I am going to target the Kami of Transience. So that is going to give it +1, 2, 3, 4 until end of turn. I really want to make sure that I hit somebody with the Calix because I get to copy an enchantment. And Blake is open, so that's going to be a straightforward one. But I am worried about a certain somebody else as well. So Kami of Transience is going at Shay, and Calix is going at Blake. So for Blake, this is a 3/3, and it's commander. For Shay, this is an 8/8 with trample.
I have no blocks.
I am not going to block.
I will take 3 commander.
I will take 8.
All right, when this hits Blake, Calix will trigger, and that says that I create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. I only have 1, and it's Michiko's Reign of Truth. So I will create a copy that is a Michiko's Reign of Truth. It will also go to chapter 1, and I will target the Esper Sentinel with it, but that's only till end of turn, so it probably doesn't matter. The enchantment entering the battlefield does create another Calix trigger, so I'm going to put another +1/+1 counter on the Esper Sentinel. The Kami doesn't trigger because it's when I cast an enchantment spell. So with that, I will move to the end step. Go ahead, Blake.
All right, I will untap. It's been a wild game so far. All right, I'm gonna play a mountain. I'm gonna spend 1 for an Enlightened Tutor.
Would you like to pay the 3?
You love hearing that better than 1, I bet, Blake.
Draw your stupid card.
Thank you.
That hurts.
Nothing like the belly aching from one person drawing a card from the dude with a 19 power creature.
It is truly. I got a Shadow Spear.
Oh,
It's a pretty boring one, but it's a pretty good one. Well, I am going to spend 3 mana for a Maul of the Skyclaves. This gives +2/+2 and has flying and first strike. And because Colossus Hammer says loses flying, it's actually going to gain flying because it's after the fact of equipping it. So it now does have flying. You can look it up.
Just when you thought we were in the
I
clear,
know.
and of all the things, it didn't fly. Now it flies.
If it makes you feel better, that does draw me a card.
I feel great.
It
yeah.
doesn't make me feel better.
And then I'm going to spend a mana to cast a Shadow Spear. Trigger Pure Steel Paladin to draw a card.
Seems good.
Spend 2 mana to equip Shadow Spear onto the thickest Pure Steel Paladin. How does this dude even walk? All right, let's.
He flies. He doesn't walk.
Nice.
The mall somehow picked up the hammer.
36.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move to combat.
Are ya?
I would like to call back to the gut shot.
Yeah, hey, hold a grudge much, dude?
Shot through the gut, and you're to blame. Shay, I'm attacking you for 24
Wow.
trample, flying, first strike,
Or 2. Lifelink.
stuff. Yeah,
Trample.
trample.
Trample, most important.
Yep.
First strike.
Say another ability. It's fine. This is
All
fine.
of them. I can
All
remove
of them.
hexproof.
I'm like getting away from
2.
her because I don't want any splash
I
damage.
know, yeah, you don't want to get AoE'd.
That,
She attacked me with her big commander, and she gut shot him.
and I knew it was a possibility that I would really get a big attack back, but I'm not a coward.
Yeah,
so,
no. You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take 22 damage.
24.
24, excuse me.
I'll gain 24 life.
Down to 7? Oh my lord.
I don't feel. No, I feel great, actually.
You're about to feel greater. You have a Mask of Memory trigger.
Yep. So I will draw 2 cards and then discard a card. I will discard a Plains. And I will now pass the turn to Ben.
I'm gonna untap.
Ben, if you can kill me, I will be impressed.
I'm gonna draw a card for turn.
Let's find out.
I can't wait.
I remember the artifacts in his hand. There was nothing that did that much.
I'm gonna tap the Metal Worker, revealing 2 artifacts. Unwinding Clock, which you already saw, and Fellwar Stone.
Okay.
So I have 4 floating mana. I will use the 4 floating mana, my Soul Ring, and my Waste, reduced by 1 because it's legendary, to play Ugin the Spirit Dragon.
Wait, when you said you got this, did
You meant he's got this.
Yeah, I got everything for me.
Oh my god. That is a trigger for Esper Sentinel. Do you pay the 3?
You know what?
No, come on, bro.
I
Do it
will.
to him.
I will. I will pay the
I love this, Ben.
What is happening?
I got artifacts all day. Okay, I will activate Ugin's minus ability for 4. So he's down to 3. And that will exile each permanent with converted mana cost 4 or less. That's 1 or more colors.
I guess that only hits my Pure Steel Paladin.
And your Maul of the Skyclaves.
Good catch, good catch, good catch.
And it hits everything I have that's not an arcane signet. Commander will go to command zone.
Yep, my Nixilis will go to the command zone, and Kessig is exiled.
Blake, where'd your 24/24 go?
It's kind of all there, to be
It's-
honest.
it's-
kind of, yeah.
It's just a Build-A-Bear workshop of like 24/24.
Yeah, except this time it'll be as commander and be a one-shot kill. What are you gonna do with your creatures now, Ben?
Oh, you know, just swing at Blake for 9. Oh, it's Vigilance.
Clown on me, dude. You're hitting me for 9?
9 in the air, flying. Oh, and trample.
You're not gonna hit me with the Joyra's guy? The little owl? You should attack me with an owl.
That's fair. It's a bird.
I'm so sorry, Joyra's familiar.
Yeah, I'll attack you with the owl as well.
It's a bird. All right, I'll take 11.
11 coming at you.
Yes, an owl is a bird. This is...
Are they the same thing?
No.
Yes.
It's like
Are owls birds?
No, it's like
Owls
a
are
square
birds.
and a rectangle.
Can
An
you guys
owl
let
is
us
a
know
bird,
if owls are
but
birds?
not necessarily a bird.
I don't know
Am
if
I-
is an owl.
Did they teach the kids anything in school anymore? An owl is a
Okay.
bird.
An owl is a
Production,
bird, but
are
a
owls
bird doesn't
birds?
necessarily
Chat?
need to be an owl.
Chat?
Of course they're birds.
It's a bird of prey.
How would they not be birds, Blake?
Shay, you're on Team Bird, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're on Team Reality?
Yes.
Okay.
But like, well, first off, birds are not real. That's the important thing to remember.
What?
They're actual drones.
This is
but
a freaking mechanical bird, and it's a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bird
guys are dumb.
and
Birds-
it's an owl.
Do you think
Because
can
owls
most
are
birds
birds.
do the 360 with their necks?
No.
I don't think so.
Right. But it's still a bird.
It's a special
But when
kind
you
of
say bird, it's not necessarily an owl.
Oh my god, let's go.
Shay, it's your turn. I'll pass.
bird. Okay. I can't believe I'm still alive. Thanks, Ben, for sparing
You're
me.
welcome.
It's really nice of you. All right, y'all. I'm paying 6 for Nixilis.
That's what the deck does.
Yes, I'm counting on my commander to help me stay alive. So that's what we're doing. Then I'm gonna pass the turn.
Almost sad because her commander makes her scary even when she has a low life total. I will
CGB, where'd your
untap.
board go, dude?
What board? I never had a board. I can't be attached to that which does not exist. I like these cards I have now better anyway. I'll show you. I'm going to cast Sithis, Harvest Hand, which many people use as a commander for an Enchantress type deck. And I will cast Enchantress's Presence, which is going to gain me a life and draw a card with Sithis. And now whenever I play an enchantment, I draw 2 cards and gain a life. I will play Path of Ancestry tapped, and I'll pass the turn.
I'm gonna untap. I'll draw for turn. So, we got some stuff to do. This is gonna be sick. I'm gonna start by playing 2 mana for Nahiri, Forged in Fury. Because it has affinity for artifacts. Then I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3
Don't give it haste. Don't give it haste.
for Sword of Feast and Famine.
Okay. Don't give her haste.
I'm not gonna.
Don't give her haste.
You're gonna wish I gave her haste.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna cast Gold Warden's Gambit. This has affinity for equipment. Create 5 2/2 Rebel creature tokens. They gain haste until end of turn. For each of those tokens, I may attach an equipment I control to it.
What?
So I'm gonna make
Jesus.
5 2/2s.
And you get to attach.
And I get to
some
attach like
equipment to-
Sword,
Oh my
Colossus,
God.
Shadow Spear. Okay, so I have made my 5 tokens and I have equipped each of them with 1 equipment. As you can see, they each have a different equipment. That's gonna be great when I attack with it.
Oh, it's gonna be so nice.
I'm gonna have so fun.
It looks so fun.
Such fun.
They don't even die at end of turn or anything.
No,
No, why would they?
that'd be ridiculous.
This is fine. This is
Need to think
fine.
about combat. I'm gonna move to combat. I'm going to attack the Sword of Feast and Famine and the Mask of Memory to up rebels at CGB.
They should have names. They shouldn't just be. They should
All
be
right,
defined
so
by their weapon.
Robbie and Rachel,
Okay.
and then Raquel, Ryan, and Will. So the Colossus hammered up Raquel is attacking Ben's face. And then the 2 other equipped up dudes, whose names I can't remember, are attacking Ugin.
Disrespect.
I'm sorry. When I declare those attacks, that's going to trigger Nahiri 5 times. So I'm going to exile the top 5 cards of my library. I can play any equipment for free, and the rest I can play until end of turn.
How much mana do you have available?
Well, I'm going to untap a bunch.
Well, right now.
Right now I have 1.
Okay, that matters. That matters.
It does matter.
Okay.
All right, so those are my attacks. These I can't play until my main phase.
All right. Ben affects or blocks.
I will block the. I'm sorry. Was that which one?
Raquel.
Raquel. I will block Raquel with the Triplicate Titan, and Ugin will die.
Okay. I will gain 3 life from... CGB.
Oh yeah,
Shay's not
you're
getting
not.
attacked.
What?
I know. I know.
Nonsense.
I already attacked her.
I'm in.
She's...
All right, I can't block the creature with the Sword of Feast and
Yep.
Famine. Were there 2 creatures
Mask
attacking
of Memory
me?
was the other one attacking
And
you.
that is a 2/2.
2/2, correct.
And if it hits me, you get to draw 2 cards.
And discard a card.
I could block with Sithis. I'm not blocking with Sithis.
I don't think so.
All right, so I am going to take 6,
Okay.
and I have to discard a card.
Yep. I will gain 3 from my Shadow Spear creature.
I will discard a branch loft pathway.
Okay. My Rebel that got...
Yep. No, it didn't die.
It doesn't
It's a
die. Just your
12-12.
Triplicate Titan
My
dies.
Triplicate Titan dies and becomes a colorless Golem artifact creature token with flying, and a 3/3 colorless Golem creature token artifact. Okay, vigilance and trample.
I have no
wanted to
idea what
say
you're
it
trying
all
to
out
say.
3/3 Golem with flying, a 3/3 Golem with vigilance, and a 3/3 Golem with trample.
All right, so I also have a couple triggers. Sword of Feast and Famine is going to untap my lands. You've already discarded.
I have.
And then Mask of Memory will trigger. I will draw 2 cards. And then discard Battlefield Forge. I will then move to my second main phase. I'm going to cast both of these for free.
Swiftfoot Boots.
And Rabbit Battery.
Double Haste.
I'm going to spend 2 mana for a Thought Vessel. I'm going to spend 3 mana on Wyleth, Soul of Steel. Whenever he attacks, draw a card for each aura and equipment attached to it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to Boros Charm CGB's face. For 4.
Yeah, sure. That
Not
makes
even
sense.
I've missed you, buddy. I've missed you, buddy. All right, I think that's it.
You sure?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm just going to make my board look a little bit easier to understand and pass the turn.
All right. I'll untap. I will tap Metal Worker, revealing 2 you've already seen and a 3rd Hedron Archive.
So you make 6 colorless mana.
Yes. I will spend 3 of it. Reduced by Joyra's Familiar to play Unwinding Clock. I will use the other 3, reduced by Joyra, to play the Hedron Archive. Tap my Soul Ring for a Fellwar Stone.
And what's the last card, Ben?
Whose knows?
And you have 1 floating then?
Okay, with the last floating mana and my 3 lands here, I'm going to cast my Commander, Karn, because he's reduced by Joyra's Familiar.
Dude, you have played so many spells this game. It's so sick.
I know, isn't it great? My hand's so small, though. So right now, he is a
5.
5, yeah, 5/5. Too bad that triplicate Titan died. Okay, I'll go to combat. I will send the Golem squad at Blake, and also Joyra's Familiar at Blake.
I appreciate your commitment to Sparkle Motion.
Yes.
I will block the 3/3 but trample with Nahiri.
Okay, so you gotta take an 8.
So I'm taking 8.
Okay. Mr. Trampler Golem dies. And it is your turn, Shay.
Okay. Untap.
I will untap with you, Shay.
Does that feel good to say?
It feels great.
All right, I'm gonna attempt some Nixilis things here.
Shay, don't make me regret not killing you. Don't be nice.
Shay, if you're not making him regret it, you're not playing right.
I know. I'm not a
know it.
coward.
All right.
Yes!
Okay, we'll start by paying 2 for an Abrade.
Okay.
So I can deal 3 damage to target creature or destroy a target artifact. I think maybe targeting your creature there that draws you a bunch of cards.
Wyleth?
Wyleth.
Okay.
Yes, so I'll deal 3 damage to Wyleth.
Goodbye, buddy. Didn't do much.
I did a thing.
A thing happened.
A thing happened. Okay, I'm gonna pay 2 to equip my Trailblazer boots.
Okay.
I'm gonna use these things.
For 20 Trailblaze it.
And I'm gonna move to combat. And I'm going to attack Blake with Nixilis for 4.
For 4?
Yes.
For
and
commander.
it has non-basic land walk.
And Vigilance? No. Or
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I'll tap it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Take 4. Puts me to 11 commander from Shay.
Oh, man.
Let's go.
Which is like kind of scary.
Then I'm gonna pay 1 for a Needle Drop. Deals 1 damage to target creature or player that was dealt damage this turn.
Ah.
I'm gonna target your face.
Yes!
That's like another gut shot.
Sweet. And then I'll also draw a card off of the Needle Drop. And then I also have an Nixilis trigger. So it gets a counter, and I will exile the top card of my library.
30 to go, Shay. 30 to go.
I'm trying. That's cool.
Oh no. Oh no. Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker, yes.
Gosh.
Hey, you know what? I got 2 mana. I am going to pay 2 to cast Bloodseeker. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you may have that player lose 1 life.
That's cool.
That's my turn. Over to you, CGB.
At Shay's end step, I will tap the Soul Ring to sacrifice the Hedron Archive and draw 2 cards. Also, I will tap my Ornithopter of Paradise and the Fellwar Stone to sacrifice the Wayfarer's Bauble to get a basic Waste card. Alright, here's my Waste card. It will go on the battlefield tapped. And then I am done at Shay's end step.
All right, I will untap, Ben.
I'll untap my artifacts with you.
I will draw for turn. I will play a forest as land for turn. I will tap 3. I will cast a Snake Umbra on Sithis. This says enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and as whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, I may draw a card. And this will trigger Sithis and Enchantress's presence, so I will gain 1 life. I will draw 2 cards. I will tap Arcane Signet to cast Soul Ring. I will tap 5, and I will cast Calix, Guided by Fate, my commander. So I will lose 1 life to the Bloodseeker. So I will go down to 29, and then I will gain 1 from my Sithis Harvest hand.
You may.
You get to exile your top card, Shay, for Ob Nixilis.
Yes, and he gets a counter. It's a mountain.
I get to draw 2 cards. One's from Enchantress's Presence, one's from Sithis. I get a +1/+1 counter from Calix I get to put on a creature. Let's put it on Sithis Harvest Hand. Hi, Ben.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
What's up?
I need to draw cards.
Okay.
Would you take 3 points from a Sithis Harvest's hand for me?
Oh, man.
Right after you put a +1/+1 counter on it.
I know.
You didn't have to put
what
it there.
You don't have to say yes.
No, I will.
Okay,
I will
thank
say
you.
yes.
Also, I forgot a scry trigger from my Path of Ancestry. That was the reason I used it that way, so I'm going to get that done. That can stay. I will attack Ben with Sithis Harvest Hand.
I will not block.
Could you imagine? Just dumpster him.
3 damage.
Okay. Down to 35.
I will draw a card from Stake Umbra. I will also get a Calix Guided by Fate trigger. So an enchanted creature dealt damage to a player, so I create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment I control. I will make a copy of the Snake Umbra, put it under Calix here, and that is an enchantment entering the battlefield, so I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on Calix. And now I'm done.
And now you're scary. A little bit.
Come on!
You're drawing a lot. You're scarier than Ben is
You're about
right
to
now.
win, Blake.
Well, yeah, you're not scarier than I am. He's scary to me as a potential threat.
I mean, you needed me to be, or you'd kill Shay, and I kind of need Shay to have a chance, so let's see.
I'll untap. I will draw for turn. All right, I'm going to spend 2 mana to equip Thran Power Suit to this rebel.
Okay.
I'm going to spend 2 to equip Shadow Spear to my Colossus Hammered Up creature. I'm going to spend 4 mana to play Armored Sky Hunter, which is a 3/3 flyer. When it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put an aura or equipment on the battlefield. If an equipment's put on the battlefield, I can equip it to a creature. I'm going to spend red to reconfigure my Rabid Battery onto my Armored Sky Hunter to give it haste.
So when the Armored Sky Hunter enters, I have a Bloodseeker trigger, and you may lose 1 life.
Thank you. It's very sweet of you.
Yes, so that's going to be an Ob Nixilis trigger, so we'll get a 1/1 counter, and I exile the top card of my deck, and it's a mountain.
Another mountain.
So now that I'm in combat, I am going to send 7/7 Pro Black at Shay, the 5/4 at Ben, as well as the Armored Sky Hunter, which is a 3/3 4/4 flying. And then these 3 are going to be at CGB. Yep, and that's going to trigger 2 things. So I'm going to start by using Armored Sky Hunter. So I'm going to look at the top 6. I'm going to put a Sword of the Animist onto the battlefield, and I'm actually going to equip it to the Armored Sky Hunter. So it's a 5/5 now.
It already attacked, so you don't get the land.
Yep.
Yep.
The rest get put on the bottom. And then I attacked with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures that are equipped, so I'm going to get 5 Nahiri triggers. So we're going to exile 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No equipment!
No equipment.
No equipment! And he's going to untap all those lands.
Yep. And so we're going to move to blocks.
I will declare no blocks.
All right. Sorry, Shay, but I know you're going to cause problems for me if I let you live. I've learned.
It's okay. It's understandable. Yeah, obviously can't block, and that's 7 exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have Calix, who can block the Masked of Memoried Rebel, because it's only a 2/2, right?
Yeah.
So I will do that.
Yep.
I will take 13.
Yep. And Ben, looks like you're going to take 10 if you have no blocks.
Yep, no block.
And I will gain 10. Or 13.
And I am exactly dead.
How did I take 13?
12, 2 plus 10 plus 1.
Uh-huh. And there's a pair of 2/2s here, right?
Oh, it's 4. Sorry, it's 15. You blocked this one, but this one got 30.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so I take 2 more from
Yep.
that rebel.
My bad. This rebel will die.
Shay, any last words?
Sorry, Shay.
Shay, You gut shot at the right target.
I did. No regrets. No regrets.
Live by the diet, sword by die, by.
He's even
What was that?
no. Save that for like your winning line. You've got swords on the
That's
battlefield.
true. Well, no, yeah. All right. Well, this is going to trigger to untap my lands, the Sword of Feast and Famine. I will then move to my second main phase.
Shay, discard a card.
Bully. I'm going to pay 2 for Boros Signet. I'm going to pay 2 more for Arden. Plus a third, because I can't count. And then I will equip Swiftfoot Boots onto Nahiri. To finish out my turn, I'm going to equip Mask of Memory to Arden. And I'm going to move to my end step, where these cards go back into exile where they belong. And it will be Ben's turn.
I'll untap. At upkeep, I will add colorless mana for each artifact I control. So I have 9 floating colorless.
You can only use it to play artifacts, though.
No Eldrazi's.
Right, now draw for turn. I'll spend 6 of that.
That was quick.
3 floating left to play one of my favorite cards that I've actually never played before. Which is weird to say,
Yeah.
but Worm Coil.
Ooh.
I've got good news for you. It only costs 5.
Yeah,
Hey.
because of Joyra's familiar.
God, I love that card.
Okay, that's great. How does it help?
It doesn't help you.
By not attacking this turn. I'm gonna play a neat little land, Scavenger Grounds.
That is a neato land.
Taps for a colorless. It's a desert. Ooh. 2 and a tap and sack a desert, not necessarily this one. Exile all cards from all graveyards.
Still doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. Hey, I'll go to combat.
Oh, Lord, they're coming.
They do be coming
For
now.
Blake. All of them.
This one is Vigilant.
Oh, right.
And gonna die, because that's what my black's gonna be.
Oh, okay.
Because it looks like that's a 6/6, correct?
It is,
because you
yes.
have this guy.
Yep.
And so I'll be taking 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Indeed.
Is this a business
It's
deal?
a deal to take damage? Like what?
Well, I guess you lose a Vigilant Golem.
That was the deal.
Golem, dead.
I will untap. Here we go.
At your untap CGB, I'll untap all my artifacts.
All right, I will draw for turn. Land for turn, Forest. I will pay a green. Let's cast Generous Visitor. Whenever I cast an enchantment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. All right, Strong Style. We are going to cast Doubling Season.
Oh,
Oh,
all right. This does a lot of things.
this does a lot of things. So on the stack, there is a trigger for Sithis Harvest Hand and Enchantress Presence to draw, and Generous Visitor for a +1/+1 counter. All right, so I gain 1 from Sithis, and I draw, and I draw, and then I put a +1/+1 counter on the Generous Visitor itself. Now Doubling Season enters the battlefield. When it lands, that triggers Calix, which then is going to put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature, but because of Doubling Season, it's going to put 2. I'm going to choose Ben's Worm Coil Engine.
Ooh. Do I still get 2 even though it's...
So it's a +1/+1 on target creature, and whenever an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent I control, twice that many are put on it. So it's only 1 +1/+1 counter. All right, let's cast Spirited Companion, the good boy.
What's up, buddy?
All right, cast triggers. Draw a card from Presence. Gain a life, draw a card from Sithis. Put +1/+1 counters with Visitor. So gain 1. Draw, and 2 +1/+1 counters going to Calix. All right, when Spirited Companion enters the battlefield, trigger on Calix, and a trigger from Spirited Companion itself. So Calix is going to target Sithis for 2 +1/+1 counters, and I will draw a card from the Spirited Companion. Move to combat. Blake, I attack you with Calix and Sithis Harvest Hand.
Yeah, I figured that might happen. No blocks.
Before combat damage, I will tap 4 and proliferate CGBs.
nice.
Oh, well, your creatures and my creature.
Yep, that's why I hooked him up with a counter. I hoped he'd do that.
Nice.
So because of Doubling Season, I'm going to get 2 counters on my creatures. So thank you, Ben.
Yeah, I got 1. I gave him 6.
That's pretty good.
Seems like a good deal for him.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
All right, we go into damage.
Oh gosh. Well, no, I don't know.
It's a little more than you expected.
Yeah, it's a bit.
All right, so this is going to be 8 commander damage from Calix.
Yep.
And this is going to be 7 damage from Sithis.
So 15 total. 8 of it
15.
is commander. Yep.
Yep. All right, on combat, there are draw triggers from Snake Umbra and Snake Umbra, and there is a Calix trigger that's going to make 2 copies of an enchantment that I control. So I will draw, and I will draw, and I get to make 2, because of doubling season, when I make a token, I make 2. I'm going to make 2 Spirited Companions.
Oh, nice.
So when these enter the battlefield, each of them will draw a card, but they're both Calix triggers. So Calix is going to trigger twice. So that's 2 more times to put 2 +1/+1 counters somewhere. I'm going to put the +1/+1 counters on the copies of Spirited Companion. So they each become 3/3s, and I'm going to draw 2 cards from the Spirited Companions. One more spell for this turn. I'm going to cast Seal of Cleansing. This is going to trigger Sithis and the Enchantress's presence on the stack and the Generous Visitor. So I gain 1, going to 18. I'm going to draw 2. I'm going to put 2 +1/+1 counters on the Spirited Companion that to this point had none. Then when Seal of Cleansing enters the battlefield, I'm going to put 2 +1/+1 counters on the Generous Visitor, moving it up to 5 total counters. I'm going to move to my end step and discard a whole bunch of lands and 1 Catilda Dawnheart Martyr, which is an aura with Disturb, so it is worth knowing it's in the graveyard. And pass to you.
All right. You're fighting.
I'm fighting. I'm trying.
I'll untap my artifacts with you on your untap thing.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to start by casting a Hexgold Hoverwing, which is going to make me a Rebel token. All right, so I'm going to move to combat. Arden's going to trigger, and I get to put any number of equipment and auras onto 1 target permanent. So I'm going to give the Armored Skyhunter the Sword of Feast and Famine, the Thran Power Suit. I'm going to give it the Swiftfoot Boots, and I'm going to give it the Shadow Spear and the Hexgold Hoverwings. Okay, I will attack CGB with the Armored Skyhunter and the 12/12 Rebel at Ben.
Okay.
This will do triggers. Yep, so I'm going to start with an Armored Skyhunter. So I'm going to look at the top 6. I'm going to put Hammer of Nazahan onto my Colossus Hammered creature, so it gets +2/+0 and indestructible. So now it's a 14/12 indestructible.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then I will exile the top 2 cards of my library with Nahiri, Halvar, God of Battle, and Cauldron Complete, which is a good one to cast for free.
You also have a Sword of the Animus.
Yep. I will get a Plains.
Talk to me about your Sky Hunter. How's the stats on this one? What does he bench press?
So they're more than me.
I think I can take him.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 16.
16, you say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, move to blocks, Ben. Any blocks?
I will block with the Ornithopter of Paradise.
Poor guy. Damn.
Under the bus. I can't block because I don't have anything that flies.
Yep. Before damage, I will activate Sunhome to give hit double strike.
To give what doubles?
To give my Armored Skyhunter double strike.
Ben, I need a favor.
Okay.
I need you to use your demolition field on one of my non-basic lands.
Okay. Sure. I'll tap the Soul Ring and demolition field your command tower.
Yep, that will go to the graveyard. And I will search my library for a basic land. Ben, you search for one as well. So I got a forest.
I got a waste.
Keep getting wasted, buddy. I will sacrifice Seal of Cleansing, and I will destroy the Thran Power Suit.
Sure.
So now that is still a 9/9.
Yep.
Or a 9/8, is it +1/+0?
9/8, yeah.
Okay, so it's still a 9/8 with double strike, so I'm still very likely to die. But thanks to this land from Ben, I'm going to channel Boseiju, who endures, and I'm going to destroy the Shadow Spear.
Sure.
Now you get to search for a land with a basic type, and it enters the battlefield untapped, if it would enter the battlefield untapped.
Look at us. We all got a land untapped.
Teamwork! I think we're happy about it than him.
Yeah, fair.
I will get a mountain.
It's still a lot. It's still a lot.
Yeah, but you're going to be a problem on your turn. All right. So you go to 2.
Yep, I'm gonna take a lot of damage, but not lethal damage. I'm going to go to 2, and I have to discard 2 cards because of your Sword of Feast and Famine.
You'll be fine. You got lots of card draw.
I'm going to discard Eidolon Blossoms and Starfield of Nyx.
Jeez, that's not good. All right, I will move to my second main phase.
All your stuff's untapped.
All my lands.
Ornithopter died.
Yeah, big dead. I should have known your wily, stupid face would have gotten out of that somehow. I should have just gone the whole 9 yards.
Is his face turning red? Or is it just me?
I'm gonna cast the Citizen's Crowbar. About to give you the Citizen's Arm, dude. Citizen's Elbow.
Okay.
All right, so I do get a Citizen from the Citizen's Crowbar. Unfortunately, I do have to equip this to a new creature to allow me to actually use it.
What are you using it on?
I'm gonna destroy your Doubling Season.
My doubling season.
Bonk.
That feels vindictive. I feel like you're not happy.
I'm not, dude. I will cast a Cauldron Complete for free. All right, so this is gonna make a little germy germ with the Cauldron Complete. We're gonna put that over it. And then I'm gonna spend 4 mana to cast Halvar, God of Battle.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna pass the turn to my buddy Ben.
All right, I'll untap. And my upkeep, I will make 8 colorless mana. And then I'll draw for turn.
Bro, you're typing a lot of mana right now.
7. All is dust.
What?
Each player sacrifices all colored permanents they control.
No.
That's so good.
Yes.
That's so good for him.
I top decked it too.
And he's still proud of himself.
You don't need to draw cards every turn, Blake, or anyone else watching. You just need to draw the
Do you know how good it is for him?
For him?
Yes.
Wait, why?
It's
Why
so
is it good for
me,
you?
buddy? Because it leaves all of my
The
equipment.
same reason Ugin
Oh,
was.
that's fine. You won't have any creatures for me to attack you.
That's true.
Okay. I mean, he did it. Here we go.
I'll go to combat. Everything, including the 1 point from Metalworker at Blake, which is exactly 16. 6, 6, 3, 1. And the 2 at CGB
What a top
with the
deck.
Joyro Familiar.
What a top deck.
You're
Any
telling me
responses? Yeah.
you drew perfect lethal?
You drew
I
exactly.
did, yeah.
Do something, Blake.
Dude, I got nothing. I'm a sorcery speed deck.
I
GG, Ben.
I got pecked to death by a bird. That happens to be
It was an owl.
An
yeah.
owl.
Not a bird, but definitely an owl.
Who? Ben. That's who.
Nice, Ben. That was a sick top deck. Dude.
That was so good.
Let's go.
Oh, bring it out. Bring him out. Bring him out.
Yeah.
Tubular.
Unbelievable.
That was
Wow.
quite the game.
unbelievable.
That was sick.
All right. Well, we are going to do our CoolStuffInc.com card of the game. We'll see you in just a sec. All right, and we are back for the CoolStuffInc.com card of the game. We're going to start with Shay.
Oh, okay. Was not expecting this.
I
Well,
know.
my Cool Stuff Inc. cards of the game are Kessig, Flame Breather, and Bloodseeker. That's because they do the thing with
Yeah,
Nixilis
yeah, it's
really
perfect.
well. And we didn't see it a lot, but it just gives you a taste of what this deck is capable of, but didn't do today.
But you
Makes
gut-shotted Blake.
You did.
I sure did.
Which is the difference between lethal and non-lethal.
Actually, it is.
Shay killed me, basically.
Yeah.
CGB,
it was
what
me.
is your CoolStuffInc.com card of the game?
So I'm excited because even though I wasn't able to win this game, I got to make what is my favorite play, I think, of my Commander career so far, because I actually saw it and went for the line. So after I drew from my Snake Umbras and I was trying to find a way to survive from what I was sure would be Blake's aerial attack, I had in my hand Seal of Cleansing and Boseiju Who Endures, and I felt like like I had to choose one. And then I noticed that Ben had a demolition field on the battlefield, and I knew in the spirit of not dying to Blake, Ben would help me out. So I cast the Seal of Cleansing, left myself completely tapped out, asked Ben for the demolition field assist so I could Boseiju you, because I needed both to survive the attack. So I'm giving card of the game to demolition field, and I'm really like stoked that I saw that.
That was so sick.
Yeah.
No, that was
Yeah.
such a sick win. That was such a sick play.
Like I'm really proud of it, even though I wasn't able to win. I was able to survive, which is kind of like, you know, an act of defiance. I could see it. Blake did not like that I survived that turn, so it felt
I did
really
not.
good. But that
That was a sick play, brother.
Yeah.
your demo field, my card of the game.
All right. Well, my CoolStuffInc.com card of the game is the Gold Warden's Gambit. It happened early on, so you almost forget that it happened, but boy, oh boy, was it sick when it went down.
Oh, did it happen?
Oh, it happened.
Oh my lord.
Yeah,
Yep.
you read what that card did? I'm like, wait, it does what?
Yeah. Well, it was like the card I was this close to cutting, and I'm so glad I didn't. So, card of the game goes to Gold Warden's Gambit. Benny Bear, the Victoire. What's your CoolStuffInc.com card of the game?
Well, they say dust is everywhere, but really, all is dust. Everything is. So
That is
all
one
is
of
dust.
the sickest
Yeah.
top decks.
Yeah.
That's got to be the new sickest top deck on
You know,
the show.
you know what I had in my hand?
What's that?
Urza's Tower, I believe, and a what was it called? Not of This World, which is a 7-mana counter spell. But if if it targets a creature you control that has power 7 or greater, it's free.
Wow.
So, and I
That's
had
sick.
that from my starting hand,
From the
and I never
starting
played
hand.
it. But yeah,
You
all is
didn't
dust.
need it. You just needed all his dust. Congratulations, Ben.
Yeah, thank you.
Super sick win.
And I do want to say, awesome top deck, perfect lethal on board, really cool. Still no Maestro's Charm.
Oh, that was a classic. Yep. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. You stayed to the end. That is the most important thing you can do. From all of my great friends, Ben and Shay and CGB, you're cool. Let the nonsense begin. You're gonna keep the bad one. I know it.
Thanks so
Brent's
much for
thinking, why
watching.
is he doing it
Goodbye.
again?
Brent's like, yeah, I know.
Brent's like, why is
that's
he doing
the
it again?
show.
I feel like
Quick episode. Quick up.
I feel like I already won.
Oh, that's funny.